Last time out in Navarra, it was a weekend of domination for McLaren. After a 1-2 in the qualifying race, they held the front row of the grid on the run down into turn 1. Plenty of jostling in the pack behind, but not too much movement as they were followed by the Mercedes, then the BMWs. Thomas Enger was an early casualty, he getting involved in an incident towards the back of the field. The BMW of Michael Bartels was struggling with intermittent clutch problems, causing him to spin in the early laps of the race, forcing him towards the back of the pack. Matt Halliday was on a charge in the Porsche, going past the Audi and then taking advantage of a mistake from Matteo Cressoni in the Ford GT to take up another position. The Ford GT would later retire with mechanical problems. Halliday then closed in and passed the second Audi of Oliver Jarvis to move up yet another position in a battle that would run and run. The battle over second place, though, was decided in the pit stops. The Alinkel.com Munich Motorsports Mercedes crew getting their cars turned around quicker than the Hexus McLarens, bringing them out in front in second and third places and dropping the McLaren down into a net 5th position overall. Knowing that the Mercedes didn't have the pace of the McLaren on the track, Marc Basseng was undoubtedly delighted that his team had managed to turn it around in the pit stops. The race-leading McLaren came into the pits, and Fred Makovicky had built up such an advantage that Stef Dusseldorf was able to regain a comfortable lead once he took over. Things were not as clear-cut for the second McLaren, Alvaro Perent having to battle hard to get past the Vita4One racing car of Nicky Meyer-Melnhof. And then Mike Parisi decided to try and take 2 cars in one corner, getting past the Ferrari, but not quite getting past Lawrence Vanthoor in the second Audi. The Audi, though, would make it straight forward at the next corner, running a little bit wide, allowing the Porsche and the Ferrari to come back through. Then there was a bit of team play with Vita4One Racing, the recovering 18 car of Hjalmar Berman getting past his teammate Nicky Meyer-Melnhof. Mike Parisi span towards the end of the race, dropping him down a number of places, but no one could stop Stef Dusseldorf, the number 1 McLaren, taking the victory, much to his teammate Fred Makovicky's delight, and giving the McLaren its first win in international motorsport. This moved Makovicky and Dusseldorf to the top of the championship, tied on points with the Mercedes of Nicky Passarelli and Thomas Jaeger. Aston Martin are sitting out this weekend in Slovakia in order to fully prepare their new car for the next round in the Algarve. Let's have a look at this weekend's lineup. Since dominating the opening weekend in Nogaro, the Audis haven't been back on the podium since, even though Stefano Telli and Lawrence Vanthoor still lie third in the championship. Behind them, Oliver Jarvis and Frank Stippler are down in 7th place, and Jarvis is cautious coming into this weekend.
I think it's going to be quite a tough weekend for us here with such a long straight. We saw already in Navarra we struggled a little bit with top speed, but the team's worked very hard. We've got another test session to go before qualifying. So if we keep improving, who knows, we could hopefully score some points and come away in an improved position in the championship.
The Vita4One Racing team have struggled to get their pace in their BMW and turn it into points. Hjalmar Berman and Michael Bartels have been forced into a number of excellent recovery drives, but are yet to taste success on the top step of the podium. Their teammates Matthias Lauda and Nicky Meyer-Melnhof are also starting to find some pace.
I think we can make a good job. We have a good car. At the last race we showed that we have good pace. We qualified third in the qualifying. At the first race we had a bit of problem with the driver change, with the belt got stuck. Unfortunately in the main race we finished 6th. Our goal this weekend is to be in the top 5.
The season so far has been a struggle for AF Corsa, the team currently lying 5th in the Constructors' Championship. Enzo Eid, though, has experience of this circuit, winning last year in FIA GT3, and he thinks that experience is going to help him and his teammate Francesco Castellacci capitalise this weekend.
I hope we do better than the first 3 rounds. We've been struggling a little bit with some weather conditions and balance of performance. Now we're in Slovakia. Me and Francesco know the track from last year's GT3 race. We hope we do better than the first 3 races, so we will push very hard.
The Ford GT encountered a resurgence in Navarra, running towards the front of the field and even attempting a challenge for the lead in the qualifying race. Amazingly, despite their pace, the Sunred team have yet to pick up a point this season, mainly due to mechanical problems, which Milos Pavlovic is confident the team can get on top of.
In Navarra, the gearbox broke, but the car is starting to be very quick, and this circuit is suiting it very well. So hopefully, you know, the team worked hard, and we're gonna give them the result they all deserve. So.
Peter Cox isn't here this weekend, so he's going to be replaced at Reiter Engineering by Stefan Rasina. Rasina is a Slovakian with extensive knowledge of this circuit, and in the sister car, there's the Czech driver, Thomas Enger. The two of them are hoping they can learn from each other this weekend.
This is a very nice circuit. I tried it last year. Beautiful track, beautiful corners, but it's obviously Stefan's home soil, and he's our new member to the team, so I'm going to learn from him.
Well, obviously from my point of view I don't think so, because Tomas has always been my hero in GT racing, so I'm proud to be racing in this team and in Slovakia. Obviously, you know, if you race in front of your home crowd, it's something special, and if it is a World Championship, that's even better.
Hex's McLaren have a lot to live up to this weekend after dominating the last round in Navarra. They won both the qualifying and championship races, moving Steph Dusseldorf and Fred Makovicky to joint top in the drivers' standings. Philippe Dumas, the team manager, is pleased with how the team have progressed this season.
It's a really good weekend in Navarra. P1 and P2 will be better, but it's okay, especially how we started in Nogaro. Very difficult weekend, and we'll continue to have a good reliability in this track in Slovakia, the first time for us, so we'll see.
Despite not picking up a race win yet this season, Alinkel.com Munich Motorsports are top of the team's championship with their Mercedes-Benz SLSs. It was a great weekend for them in Navarra, a second and third position on a track they didn't expect to do well on. And Marcus Winkelhock holds a similar opinion of the Slovakia ring.
We are quite, I think, fifth in the championship. Everything's really close in the moment. So our main target is to score as many points as possible. I think it's not going to be easy this weekend for us because of the long straights, but we will do our best.
Renway is still recovering from appendicitis, so Benjamin Lariche will be joined in the number 8 Porsche by Andreas Zuber. After winning the championship race in Zolder, Mike Parisi and Matt Halliday didn't pick up a single point last time out in Navarra. Halliday is hoping that will change this time out.
We had a really good race in Zolder. Unfortunately, the last round didn't really work to our plan. Mike getting pushed off in turn 1. The whole weekend we struggled from there on in, but we're here, new weekend, we'll put our head down and hopefully regain some points that we lost in the last round.
Good afternoon and welcome to the 4th round of the GT1 World Championship. We're here at the Slovakia ring, funnily enough in Slovakia, and we're going to be bringing you the qualifying race today. My name is Jack Nichols. Alongside me here in the commentary box is John Watson. John, it's a lot cooler day today than we've seen over the past couple of weeks. The clouds have come in a little bit. Slight chance of rain. Hopefully that won't come, but this Slovakia ring, a great circuit.
It's a very, very good circuit indeed. 5.9 kilometres, 14 corners, plus, for the first time, a temporary chicane, which is on the exit of turn 2 on the run down to what I would call the Flugplatz. It's one of the bridges, there are 3 of them around the racetrack, and it's an area of the circuit where there was concern that cars may get airborne. A lot of these corners are much more open. They're long corners, especially in that end of sector 1. Turn 2 is a long, open right-hand corner. Exits then just about 150 metres before the chicane, before you have that rise over the bridge. It's a good combination. Drivers like the circuit. It's wide. There's every opportunity for really exciting motor racing here this afternoon.
Let's hear from Philippe Salaquada. We were talking about how strong the air course of Ferraris are this weekend. He's going to start 4th on the grid.
Philippe, starting from the second row, it's looking hopeful that you'll be walking away with some more points today.
Yeah, we start the first part of this weekend. We started quite well. We qualified 5. Now we move up to 4th because the 4th. Hopefully we can score some points in the first race. And looking really forward to start from P4. Hopefully we can get the podium.
Okay, there's Philippe Salaquada. Here's a look at the grid then. It's the McLaren and the BMW on the front row, then the Audi and the Ferrari on the second row of the grid. The second Ferrari is in there alongside the second McLaren. So a good weekend for Ferrari and McLaren. Audi, BMW once again on positions 7 and 8. Then we've got the first of the Mercedes, Thomas Enger. Watch out for him. I think he's going to be pretty quick, although actually it's going to be Albert von Thurn Taxis starting that car, isn't it? 2 Porsches of Zuber and Parisi. I'm not sure Zuber will be on the grid. He may have to make a pit lane start. And Matteo Cressoni will start the Ford GT from the very rear of the field. So the clock does start now then. So we will have a couple of laps behind the safety car, at least 2 apparently, and then the race will get underway. So not the start we wanted to see, but of course they are forced into these positions by the track conditions. Doesn't look like it's going to be a good day for the number 8 Porsche. On board with Van Thor, trying to get as much heat in those tyres as possible. Safety car in at the end of this lap then, so the race is about to get underway. Steph Dusseldorp backs the pack up. We're finally about to get racing underway here at the Slovakia ring. An elongated safety car period is now over. The lights are off on the safety car. It has pulled into the pits. It's the McLaren of Dusseldorp leading. The BMW of Michael Bartels in second. Oliver Jarvis is third in the Audi. Fourth is the Ferrari of Tony Verlander. Dusseldorp waits to stamp on the throttle pedal. He's waited a long time. When's he going to go? He's still waiting for it. Now he goes. He bolts. Bartels follows him. Then comes the Audi. The two Ferraris are pretty close to one another as well. But that's worked out pretty well for Dusseldorp. He crosses the line with a 0.4 of a second advantage. Bartels doesn't feel comfortable to move to the outside of the circuit. Here comes Tony Verlander to the outside. It's 3 abreast for second place. Verlander's going to go around the outside of both of them, is he? That's going to be an incredible move if he can pull it off. Tony Verlander finds himself in second place in the Ferrari. That was absolutely phenomenal from Verlander. Into turn 2 they come. Battles further back. Now the yellow flag zone is in place and they will have to tiptoe their way through the chicane. What a move from Verlander.
Yeah, it's a good, strong move, and look how much he's run down the tail of Steph Dusseldorp in the McLaren, and the whole field almost has closed back on the advantage that Dusseldorp opened up on that initial run. And
Verlander up the inside. Can he make it to the lead? He can. Tony Verlander takes the lead of the race very forcefully up the inside of Steph Dusseldorp. That air Corsa Ferrari is very strong. Now we're into the dusty section of the circuit. The windscreen wipers are on, but Tony Verlander has confidence in his car that no one else seems to have at the present time, and he has taken the lead of the race after starting 4th on the grid. Vanthor sends it to the outside. He's going towards the gravel trap. Can he keep it out of it? He can just about, but he's going to lose a large amount of positions. So Verlander leads, Dusseldorp second in the McLaren, Jarvis third, 4th is Bartels, but he's coming under a lot of pressure from Castellacci. Castellacci looking to the outside under braking, and he's gone around the outside of turn 1. He can't stop it, and he's going to drop right to the back of the field. So through the little chicane they come, and it looks as though Mike Parisi has made up a number of places as well. Actually, he started right at the back of the grid. Here comes Mark Basseng, sending one up the inside of Nicky Meyer-Melnoff. Can he make it stick? A German versus an Austrian in 2 German-branded cars. He's trying to hang it on around the outside of 4. That'll give him the inside line for 5. Great side-by-side racing, and Mark Basseng moves up into, well, holds on to 7th place, because Meyer-Melnoff must have got past him at some point, because when they crossed the line, Basseng was in front. So that's 2nd, 3rd and 4th we're looking at there. And is Parent going to be close enough? Jarvis covers the inside line. It's such a wide track, you can't really cover the inside line unless you're right in the extreme right of the circuit. Parent's got a good run out of that corner. He's not going to be close enough to make the move into turn 2, I don't think. He thinks about it, actually. It's a pretty quick corner down there at turn 2, and Alvaro Parent makes the move stick.
Yes, he does. He got into the inside and he got alongside Oliver Jarvis by such a margin that he got the pass done before he got into the yellow flag zone. Can the Ford get a slipstream off the Lamborghini down this long straight into turn 1? Well, he's in the zone. He's in the zone. The Lamborghini goes defensive. The Ford goes out to the right, gets alongside, and under brakes. I think Albert von Thurn and Taxis has conceded.
No, that's Daryl O'Young. Albert von Thurn and Taxis is in that first Lamborghini. And this is side by side between the 2 McLarens. Alvaro Parent has got past Steph Dusseldorp. He was lapping quicker than Dusseldorp, and Parent is now up into 2nd place. So he sold Dusseldorp the dummy, really, and put him offline for the rest of the corners. Michael Bartels has come into the pits to hand over to Jelmer Berman, and Thomas Enger will be about to take over from Albert von Thurn and Taxis as well. So BMW and Lamborghini pit right at the start of the pit stop window, side by side Daryl O'Young and Nicky Meyer-Melnoff, and that's going to allow Vanthor up the inside. So Lawrence Vanthor finally makes that move, stick on the Lamborghini that he's been trying for a long time. We go on board with him now into turn 2. Does he fancy a look at Meyer-Melnoff? That's a brave one, but he backs out of it. Got a problem on the front left there for Thomas Enger. They've dropped him down off the jacks. They've had to put the jacks back up. There's our race leader, though. Are either of the McLarens going to pit? Surely the number 1 McLaren might.
Yes,
it does. Yep. So into the pits comes Steph Dusseldorp. He's going to hand over to Fred Makovicky. We go on board with Lawrence Vanthor trying the outside line into 13 to give himself the best run out. Meyer-Melnoff may decide to come into the pits this time, though. And they both come in. This will be a fun one, and the Ryder Engineering car of Daryl O'Young. So this will be a great little pit stop battle. Into the pits is the number 1 car then. Fred Makovicky gets in. Is this McLaren going to be able to get started? That's going to be one thing they've struggled with.
Well, the car will start. It just takes a little longer for it to get for the engine to fire up than some of the other competitors in the pit lane. And what they can do is they can anticipate that. And there we see the car down off the jack, so no problem with now. And Fred McAvickie behind the wheel of that number 1 car makes his way down the pit lane at 60 kilometers per hour as the Audi guys go to their work. The left front now coming off.
Yep, so it was BMW, Audi, Lamborghini when the pit stop window began. It's now going to be BMW. Very slow pit stop from the Audi squad. Then it's going to be Lamborghini. Are they going to be able to get past? No. So the order is unchanged, but that's a big advantage that Matthias Lauda has made, because those 3 cars came into the pits nose to tail. Here's the move up into turn 13, not close enough, Thomas Enger, but he was looking very, very racy out onto the start-finish straight. You can see the advantage Rosina has built up already, and this is going to be the battle over, well, it's still not quite sure what position this is over.
I'd like to see a bit more of Stefan Rossini in some of these GT1 events. That guy can drive a car.
He certainly can. And Thomas Enger can drive a car as well. He's got the inside line into turn 1. Up the inside. Jobs are good, and is it?
Yeah, yes, it was easy.
Can the McLarens hold on? Can they get the car started? Good stop from the McLaren. Where's it going to come out in comparison to the Ferrari? They're telling Philippe Salaquada now to go, go, go. And it's going to be the same order. So a recovery that time, a sigh of relief for the Hexes team.
But
poor stop for the Audis, actually.
Yeah, but the more important one is the gap between the Ferrari and the McLaren. Has that reduced from the 3.5 seconds? Look, they just get out, just about make it up, and that's going to be a McLaren passing a McLaren into turn 1.
McAvickie up the inside, moves up into 2nd position, then he goes past, and so it's well, that's going to be an interesting little battle now between, well, Gregoire de Moustier,
it isn't going to be a battle. Fred McAvickie has got a mission. His mission statement is going to be, I am going to catch the Ferrari with Philippe Salaquada in it, and I'm going to pass that Ferrari. And Gregoire de Moustier, now under pressure from the BMW behind, and now that is Jelmer Berman. He's about to be potentially overtaken as Berman looks to go down one way, then up the inside into turn 3.
Oh, very, very close. Berman
he's got it. No, he's got it.
Yep.
He got the momentum. De Moustier ran wide in the middle part of that long turn 3, and the BMW didn't need another invitation.
Off goes Enzo Eid. So that's the 2nd time that Ferrari's been in the gravel trap. He keeps it out. That was good work from Enzo. Just kept enough momentum to get onto the grass again.
We saw the look of disgust in Enzo Eid's face when his teammate went off Castellacci. Now we have to see Castellacci's reaction as we see the 32 car of Otelli looking now to fight back, now that he might have got some temperature. Getting up alongside the 17 car of Matthias Lauda, makes the pass.
Yep, good job from Otelli. Ferrari takes a different line through the final corner, but McAvickie is going to be right under the gearbox of that car as they come across the line. The gap was 0.4 of a second, it's now 0.3 of a second. You can see McAvickie pulling out. How is Jelmer Berman behind? Was 0.7 of a second quicker than both. Pulling off is the number 2 car, that is Gregoire de Moustier. So the gap between our 1st and 2nd places look like it's expanded. It's up to 0.9 of a second. Jelmer Berman is getting involved as well. Their sister BMW is having some fun all by himself. Matthias Lauda battling with Thomas Jaeger over 11th position. Jaeger in the Mercedes is going to be right up behind Lauda into the final corner. Not close enough to make the move. Oh, he sends a late one up the inside. Thomas Jaeger, great stuff.
Sweet as a nut, Thomas. That was a great move. You sort of got Matthias on the move one way, and you're still on the dummy now. Matthias just with a wheel out.
Oh, there's going to be contact coming through turn 14. Yeah, just about. Jaeger holds it.
Well, you know, Jaeger had the advantage, and Matthias Lauda stuck the nose of the BMW. He's got good straight line advantage, trying to get back at the Mercedes-Benz, but Thomas Jaeger hard on the brakes into turn 1. The rain's still falling. The track is beginning to get more and more slick, and the slightly more nimble BMW may have the advantage swing back to its favour as Jaeger goes to block into turn 2. Cuts back again, but Lauda tries to dive up the inside.
There's our race leader, Salaquada. But Jelmer Berman is right up behind in this battle for 2nd place.
He was. I mean, I'm sure Berman thought, I've got to pop into turn 3. Unfortunately, he wasn't close enough.
There's the inside into turn 8, gets the move done. McLaren gets the cutback though on the exit. Berman can't keep it all together. Now they come into turn 9. This battling is going to play perfectly into the hands of the Ferrari of Felipe Salaquada up in front. He's got up the inside into turn 9. Macavicki really struggling in these damp conditions. If anyone's going to take the gamble and come in, it's got to be the Hexus McLaren, because it looks the most uncomfortable at the moment.
Ferrari.
Off goes Ortelli.
Ortelli's got caught out as well.
So this is the 4th place scrap across the line. Frank Stippler ahead at the moment in the Audi. Behind him is Marcus Winkelhock in the Mercedes. Is he going to be close enough into turn 1? No, he's not. Stippler holds the line. Then the 2 Lamborghinis in 6th and 7th.
Yeah, but it's the cutback that Stippler will have to defend, because he's going to have the Mercedes all over him on the exit of the corner. And the Mercedes now on the inside as they make the climb up the hill towards turn 2. And can he get the momentum? Is the Audi going to have to brake fractionally sooner? And the Mercedes gets the position. Now that was good, clean driving by both drivers. They realised that 2 into 1 doesn't go. The Mercedes had the pace, and job done.
Enger has now got past Racina, and there is Racina. He's spun, I presume, on the... I saw Matt Halliday looking up the inside. That's at turn 13, actually.
Yeah, so
just in front of the pit lane entrance. He's got the engine going again. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a bit
of... a rear tyre.
Yeah, rear left puncture.
As we see the wet tyres going on to Ortelli's car, and back to this 24 car, the Thomas Enger car. It's putting pressure now on Audi.
Yeah.
Frank Stippler.
Thomas Enger was 6 seconds quicker than Frank Stippler on that last lap. Incredible stuff from the Czech driver. And it won't be long before he cruises past Stippler. Into the right-hander at 5 they come, and there's the move.
Yeah,
easy. Thomas Enger was 7 seconds quicker on that last lap than Fred Macavicki in the McLaren.
Yeah, I mean, Macavicki's lap was 2 minutes 23.
Yeah.
And Winkelhock and the Mercedes behind was 2 minutes 18. I mean, where do you find that or lose that amount of time?
I don't know, but...
Well, there they are. I mean, they're all over each other. Enger now behind the Mercedes going down the inside into turn 3.
Late on the brakes for Thomas Enger. Can he get the move done? He can, and he's going to be up into 3rd position before too long. This is an absolutely barnstorming drive from Thomas Enger, opposite lock all the way. Fantastic stuff to watch as we stay on board with him. It's not going to be long before we get this onboard pass of Fred Macavicki, and to move him up into 3rd position. Here we go then. Where's it going to be? Surely he's not going to just drive around the outside of him. You can see how much Macavicki is twitching. Macavicki holds on for the time being. Huge spit of flame from the rear end of that McLaren as they come into the tight left-hander, up the inside, drive past into turn 8. Macavicki's got no response.
He's not able to do anything, whatever the car setup is, or whether it's a loss of tyre temperature, not a loss of when the Mercedes goes through as well. So Macavicki has lost 2 places in the space of 3 corners.
Yeah, so Thomas Enger came in and they pitted him very, very early in this race, so there's no question he is on slick tyres, but he hasn't moved on to the wet.
Whoa, hey, Albert.
The McLaren has been the surprise. It looked like it was in the bag, but these mixed conditions, through goes the Audi as well. Frank Stippler up the inside.
It's just simply that the McLaren cannot generate enough temperature in the tyre to make it work in difficult conditions. Consequently, the Porsche now about to make that position. Another loss to the McLaren. Simply, there's no grip, and other cars around it which are putting more energy into the tyres. Macavicki goes very defensive coming into turn 3. But Matt Halliday will get the option up the inside on the exit. Can he get the Porsche alongside the McLaren? He needs to be careful. Doesn't want to make contact because he doesn't want to lose that position through a little bit of... Oh, and the McLaren still holds on. Fred Macavicki doesn't like the thought of the Porsche. All that old technology challenging the latest and greatest automotive.
On board we go then with Matt Halliday. Wide line into the right-hander of 5. He's going to almost touch the back there of the McLaren through the left-hand kink. And surely that will be job done into turn 8. Looks like it. He's got the inside line now. And Matt Halliday moves up into 6th position, which I think they'll be pleased with after starting at the back of the grid.
Matt Halliday, he's going to go one way, the idea will go defensive, he's going to go the other way. Can he get alongside before they get into break? Well, just simply, well, I was going to say simply part of his way, but Frank Stippler done a very good job keeping the Audi in contention and denying Matt Halliday that position, but he has to give it up eventually.
And here's the battle for second. And it's going to be Thomas Enger around the outside, but he's going to get the cutback into turn 1. We go on board with him. He tries to be boxed out by Jelmer Berman, but he's got the inside line. Thomas Enger into turn 2, moves up into second position. This is a phenomenal drive from Thomas Enger. The Reiter engineering squad cannot believe how strongly Enger has performed. That last lap was a 2-minute 14.3, quicker than Stefano Telli on the wet tyres, and Enger has been the star of this race. Well, one of the stars, Philippe Salaquada. Got to give him credit. He pulled away from those faster cars.
Make no mistake, Philippe Salaquada has done a really great job for Ferrari AF Corsa, but obviously because of the drive through the field, because of the problem during the pit stop, Thomas Enger is probably going to be the drive that most people will remember.
So into the right-hander, the final turn 13, and it's going to be Philippe Salaquada. Look at Thomas Enger, he's nearly going to win this, but into the final corner comes Philippe Salaquada. Tony Verlander took the start, took the lead, let us not forget, with some brilliant around the outside overtaking, extended the lead. Philippe Salaquada took over, avoided all the troubles, avoided all the slippery conditions, and AF Corsa win in GT1. Ferrari win, second for Lamborghini. Thomas Enger, there's his girlfriend cheering out of the pit window. Absolutely fantastic drive from him. Third place is going to be Jelmer Berman. Top job, couldn't cope with the other two on the slick tyres.
No, the two drivers that really seem to work well were Salaquada, the winning Ferrari, Thomas Enger, the second place.
And off goes the 33 car. Frank Stippler from 6th position has lost out. That means Winkelhock finishes in 4th, Matt Halliday in 5th. Who's going to be 6th? Will it be Frank Stippler? Will he be able to recover in time? Yes, he does, just about ahead of Milos Pavlovic. And look at Fred Makovic all the way down there in 8th position. I think he's going to finish.
You'd imagine that Frank Makovic is driving on a racetrack that is a skating. He's got a problem.
Yeah.
There is a problem with the McLaren. Maybe that's been a factor that we've not been aware of. We've been suggesting that it might be just he's not got tire temperature in these difficult conditions, and that car is just coming across the start-finish line that little more than a pace, and there is no power behind that car at all. It is just the momentum that it has coming off turn 13 and 14, gets across the start-finish line. So he's finished, he's classified, but all the way down in 9th place.
But there's Philippe Salaquada, him and Tony Verlander, absolutely delighted with that. Let's hear from Philippe Salaquada and Tony Verlander. AF Corsa Ferrari, their first win in FIA GT1.
Philippe, congratulations on your first win for the team.
Thank you very much. I want to thank you, Tony, and all the team, all the sponsors, all the people which are here. It was a great job. It was a great start from Tony, which he made from 4th to 5th, 4th to 1st place. He made a gap for me, and then I had to. Then in the race was a bit tricky because it starts to rain for me, and I had to be very careful because the McLaren was very close. But we had a good pace, and then we bring home to first position.
Tony, starting on the front row tomorrow, can you do it again?
Yeah, hopefully yes. I mean, today was an exciting day. To be honest, I didn't expect us to win. I mean, we had more pace than the previous race in Navarra, but I'm really happy for team, for Philip, and I think this is a big moral boost for the whole team, and we keep working and to have a good race tomorrow and the coming races.
Do you think you'll be as strong in the dry tomorrow?
I cannot tell you. I mean, especially in the beginning, I think we can push, but then we need to see how much drop the others have compared to our drop shot.
Thank you, guys.
I presume the drop, he's probably referring to the tyres.
Yeah, I mean,
how quickly they drop off.
Yes, exactly. Once the tyre performance starts to drop away, will they lose more in relation to other competitors around them?
Let's hear from Albert von Taxis and Thomas Enger. You can see them there. They're with Haley Coxon.
Congratulations, Thomas. That was a stunning effort. Where did you find the grip?
In this beautiful white Lamborghini. Obviously, when the car is good, I'm able to drive fast. So the car was perfect. It couldn't be better. I needed 2 more laps to get into P1. Unfortunately, the race was a bit short, but it was all perfect. To have the problem in the pit stop and come to 2nd place at the end, it's fantastic. Fantastic job of everybody from Reiter Lamborghini.
Huge celebrations in the team, Albert.
Yeah, we are speechless. I mean, what Thomas did out there, everyone who saw it was just absolutely speechless. And I think, yeah, we've proven once again that Thomas is the strongest driver.
Thank you, guys.
Here's a look at the results. 4.5 seconds was only the gap between Salaquada and Enger at the end of that race. Jelmer Berman and Michael Bartels coming home in 3rd place. Then we had the Mercedes of Marcus Winkelhock and Marc Basseng. Matt Halliday and Mike Parisi, quietish race, plenty going on. We saw plenty of them, but never really followed their progress properly. Came home in 5th position. Very impressive from them. Racina and Darlo Young in 13th, unfortunately retiring, as did de Moustier and Alvaro Parent. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the 4th round of the FIA GT1 World Championship. It's coming to you from the Slovakia ring, and it's the important championship race coming up today. This is where the majority of points are available, and this is where the Slovakian crowd have turned out to watch what will surely be an action-packed FIA GT1 race if yesterday is anything to go by. As you can see, we're in the 4th round of the championship. Then we've got a little 3-week break before we head down to the Algarve in Portugal, and then the flyaways commence. 2 trips to China, and then Russia and India to round off the season at the beginning of December. There you can see Jelmer Berman sat on 3rd place on the grid. Now we're onto the front row. Thomas Enger starting that Lamborghini Gallardo on the front row of the grid. It's going to be very entertaining to see Thomas drive. Absolutely incredible drive from him yesterday, and the battle between him and Felipe Salaquada in the pole sitting A, of course, of Ferrari, is going to be fantastic. As the grid girls then begin to leave the grid, here we go then. There's the Ferrari on the inside, Lamborghini on the outside on the run down into turn 1. Then we've got the BMW and the Mercedes. Here's a perfect illustration of the 7 brands in the top 7 positions. Then we get our first repeat in 8th position, which is the Mercedes of Thomas Jaeger, who will be starting that car. Then the first McLaren, Fred Makovicky in 9th place. He's going to be one to watch. He's going to be quick. Stefan Ortelli's going to be quick in his Lamborghini. We're also excited to see how Stefan Racina does. He didn't really get much of a chance to shine at his home circuit yesterday. Unfortunately, Benjamin Lariche will not be starting that Porsche. The cars are in 2x2 formation. The 4th round of the GT1 World Championship is about to get underway. The championship race will begin when the lights turn green on the start-finish straight. The Ferrari on the left-hand side of the screen there is on pole position. The white Lamborghini is alongside him. That's Thomas Enger. It's BMW and Mercedes on the 2nd row. They wait for the lights to go green here at the Slovakia ring, and away we go. It's a very good start from the Porsche, slicing through the middle on the run down into turn 1. Fantastic camera angle. It's almost 4 abreast as we come down into the first corner, but the Ferrari has held it. It's almost 5 abreast. In fact, the Ford GT is trying to squeeze through. Great start from Marcus Winkelhock. He's up into 2nd position. The Porsche, after a great start, has now lost out. Yellow flags will be out on the run into turn 2, so they've got to sort themselves into single file now before they reach the chicane. There you can see the yellow flags, so this will give us an opportunity. Ferrari leads, Mercedes 2nd, Ford 3rd, Lamborghini, Thomas Enger down into 4th position off that start.
Well, you can barely catch your breath on how they sorted themselves out into turn 2 and how they determined where was the yellow flag. Well, they will have seen that, and did they get themselves into single file? But a very strong start indeed. Ford GT in 2nd place.
Yeah, they got a great start in Navarra, and Milos Pavlovic has got another cracking start. Now they're into the middle twisty part of the section, which is where the Porsche in particular really finds its struggles. These long radius corners that never feel like they're going to end at certain points. Here's Fred Makovicky then. He's putting Stefan Racina under some pressure into turn 9. Not quite able to get past. That's actually Thomas Enger, I apologise. And Racina is a little bit further back. You can see him challenging Enzo Ede. There he goes. Yeah, the Audis have had a poor start.
Yeah, Rosina was actually one of the drivers that did put a big challenge on into turn 2. Oh, look at coming down the hill out of turn.
There is Racina.
Rosina's having a go, and he looks up. Can he get it? No, he gets one car, gets the Ferrari. That's the car of Enzo Ede, but not the Audi.
Yeah, the Audi managed to come around the outside of both of them there, because Enzo Ede was so keen on defending that Stefan Ortelli made up 2 places. Now Thomas Jaeger is going to try and get past Enzo Ede as well. Down into the final corner they come. Fred Makovicky still trying to get past the Lamborghini, 3 abreast into the final corner almost, still Ortelli holding on, ahead of Stefan Racina, and then Enzo Ede in the Ferrari. But as they exit through the left-hand kink at turn 14, Felipe Salaquada has built up an 0.8 of a second advantage over Marcus Winkelhock in second, Milos Pavlovic third, Thomas Enger in fourth, Fred Makovicky in fifth, Jelmer Berman in sixth, coming under pressure from the Porsche of Matt Halliday. Halliday looks to the outside into turn 1. That's going to be a brave move if he can pull that off. He can't. You will now see the yellow flags have been retracted at turn 2, and the yellow flags will simply remain just before the chicane for the remainder of this race.
Matt Halliday had a long run down into turn 1 on the outside, the dirty part of the racetrack, tried to go around the outside of Jelmer Berman, but no chance whatsoever. Into the chicane now, up the hill, look at the Lamborghini, up alongside the Ford, down the hill, on the outside, he's got through.
Yeah, but is he going to go too deep into the corner? He is. They're going to be side by side.
Oh,
Pavlovic
contact!
out of shape, and they make contact. Round goes the Lamborghini. Hopefully everyone behind will avoid, but these two have dropped a long way down the field now. It was a good attempt, but the Ford GT just got out of shape as he was late on the brakes, and the two came together.
And a complete 360 for the Lamborghini, got going in the right direction, but damage to that car. You can see the pace at which it's limping back to the pits, probably a puncture. So let's look again and see this incident coming through the chicane, up the hill, Lamborghini on the right-hand of track. He gets clear of the Ford, but because he runs slightly deep into the corner, it allows Pavlovic to come back. He then gets a snap oversteer, and overcorrection slams into the side of the Lamborghini.
Let's hear from Thomas Enger after that incident. What's he got to say?
Thomas, can you fill us in what's happened and what the damage is on the Lamborghini?
Well, I think everybody saw it on TV. I don't need to comment it. Great job by Mr. Cressone. Or who was
So it wasn't your fault?
No. I left him a room. I tried to overtake outside. That's not the way, it should go. But unfortunately, our rear wishbone is banned. The car was really great. I don't know what was he doing at the start, because he just got into P3 on the start-finish straight, so he must have jump start as well. It is a real shame, because we could have scored great points here. Shame.
Thank you.
It was Milos Pavlovic that the contact was between. Here comes the McLaren of Makovicky round the outside of Marcus Winkelhock into turn 1 in the challenge for the second place. He's got the cutback, and Fred Makovicky moves up into second position in that McLaren. These two really getting the maximum out of the car. I thought Ortelli was going to go for it. They need to watch out because Stefan Racina's right behind.
Yes, Racina's the one you're going to have to watch. He is the quickest of these 3 cars, but he's got this battle going on with the Audi and the Porsche. They're pretty much occupying all the available tarmac that's on a line, and of course Racina doesn't want to go offline, even though he knows this racetrack better than anybody else in the field.
Oh, look at that. He's trying to go around the outside now, the Audi. That's never really going to come off, and that could leave him open to attack from Stefan Racina. Halliday is taking the widest lines I've ever seen around this circuit. Up the hill they come. This is the long run down into turn 13. This is where Halliday is strong. You can see him pulling away. That Porsche's got such excellent straight line speed. Where's Racina going to be into the right-hander? He's on the outside. Is he going to stick it around the outside? That would be impressive.
No,
Not
he
able
can't.
to do it.
He can't. He's got to be patient. He's going to have a look around the outside now on the exit of the corner, but it'll be the speed off the corner that will be key to the Lamborghini getting under the rear wing of the Audi. He's out of the slipstream. Now he's back into it, but he's also got the second of the Ferraris now trying to go. Audi's top speed, they say, is not quick, but the Ferrari down the inside, Enzo Ede.
He's going to take 2 positions in 1 is Enzo. Racina's tries to go around the outside, but the Ferrari is hanging on in there. They're going to be side by side into turn 2. No, they're not, because the Lamborghini just about has the momentum. On board with Ortelli. He's now up the inside of the Ferrari. He backs out of it going into turn 2. Great onboard footage. And here comes the Mercedes. He's got a great run. He had to get on the brakes halfway through there. Winkelhock is going to try and send one up the inside into turn 3. Here comes the BMW, though, to try and capitalise. It's a 4-way battle for the lead here at the Slovakia ring. This is where the Ferrari is going to be struggling, and this is where the McLaren has the chance. He's got his nose up the inside, but the next corner is a left-hander. He's been pushed onto the grass, I think. Ferrari gets on the grass. McLaren is in the lead.
BMW's in third place. We didn't catch that. We were so intent on watching what was going on at the lead that the BMW of Jelmer Berman's got ahead of Marcus Winkelhock.
And here comes the BMW up the inside, down into turn 10. Salaquada tries to close the door, but it's all a bit too late, and the BMW is up into second place. Now it's going to be Marcus Winkelhock who fancies a look at getting past the Czech Republic driver Felipe Salaquada. These Slovakian fans have been treated to a pretty intense race so far, and it's still intense further back in the field. Stefan Rosina may have a problem because
he's
he
a
left front puncture.
And that's on the left front, so it could easily be that he's run over a bit of gravel. It cuts the tyre down just like a razor blade going through it.
It's not turned into a good day for Reiter Engineering. Their two Lamborghinis encountering problems. Thomas Enger is out of this race, and well, he's not happy, is he?
Hey, come on, give it one, Stefan. Give it one, my son.
Stefan Ortelli very frustrated with Enzo Eid in front of him. Here comes the Frank Stippler up the inside into turn 1. I wonder if Ortelli has said, you know, no gesticulations this time. Oh, I thought we were going to get one there, but maybe he's decided to let his teammate have a go at getting past the Ferrari in front. The two Audis are going for it. Now Stefan Ortelli's going on the outside. Mercedes tries to make it 3 abreast, and I think Ortelli might lose out because of all that. He's going to be boxed out by his teammate, and he just about holds off the Mercedes. Who's coming in out of these guys?
The Ferrari had to come in, and also the second of those. Is that Ortelli coming in?
No, that's Stippler coming in.
Stippler coming in. So we got Matthias Lauda as well. So the Mercedes is in.
And there is the Mercedes. They gained a lot of time with their pit stops last time out in Navarra, the Al Inkel team. But the order was Ferrari, Audi, BMW as they came into the pits in this battle over 6th place. This is all down to the teamwork now. Will they leave Ferrari, Audi, BMW, or will any of them be able to take advantage, gain a place? All 4 tyres changed, driver changes as well.
Francesco Castellacci getting strapped in now to the Ferrari. He ought to be able to do a bit more than Enzo Eid has done, but the problem that we know the Ferrari will have is the problem that we've seen with Felipe Delaquada, who did lead initially, is that they've got an issue.
BMW's going to get both of them.
Brilliant stop from BMW.
Great work from V1 Racing Team.
Jarvis is in 2 places, 1 in the pit lane. Well, how frustrating is that for Castellacci?
Yeah, so Francesco Castellacci exits the pit lane. That will be a net 8th place. Into the pits comes Alvaro Parent. He did have a little off earlier, we didn't see it, but he had taken a trip into the gravel trap. Gregoire de Moustier, I should say, and he will now hand over to Alvaro Parent.
Yes, and you're going to see a massive difference in performance between the 2 drivers.
Marc Basseng moves up into a net 3rd position once all the pit stops have shaken out. So again, great work from the Al Inkel team, get them out. But Tony Verlander is a very quick driver. In comes Makovicky now. It'll be worth finding out. We've seen his pace drop off Makovicky, and I wonder if perhaps they're encountering similar problems as yesterday, where they started to drop off. That might be something to work out. But here comes the pit stop.
I would hate to think that is the issue, but it's something that we have to consider as a possibility. So door open, Steph Dusseldorf helps Makovicky out of the car. Right front goes back on. This is a well-polished team at work, even though they've had very, very little sleep over the last 3 days in effect. Philippe Dumas told me this morning that they had 5 hours sleep over the last 3 days, and it looked like it. Good job by the team, of the jack, but the starting problem, delays and
we had to wait for the Porsche.
Porsche.
That could be absolutely vital in deciding this championship race. The Porsche was coming into the pits, and the McLaren had to get on the brakes, not pull out, and that, combined with the pace of Jelmer Berman, could be very, very interesting and crucial. Out comes the McLaren. It's still miles ahead of the net 3rd position 38 Mercedes of Marc Basseng. Into the pits comes Jelmer Berman. The V1 Racing Team are going to have to be on their very, very best performance if they want to do this right. Michael Bartels waiting, and hopefully...
Well, we saw a brilliant stop for Lauda and Meyerhoff, but why did they do it so quickly? Whatever it was stunning, and made the life an awful lot easier for the second of those BMWs.
So down into the final corner comes the Hex's McLaren. He's already gone. Fantastic stuff from the V1 Racing Team. The combination of a quick pit stop and Hex is having to wait means that he has emerged in a massive lead. The V1 Racing Team absolutely delighted with that. So on board we go with the 32 car. This is Laurens Vanthoor, the young Belgian driver. We are watching the battle over 5th place. So we've got the V1 Racing Team BMW of Nicky Meyer-Melnhof up in front. He's being attacked by the Audi of Oliver Jarvis. It's Jarvis on the outside. It's the inside line for Nicky Meyer-Melnhof. Meyer-Melnhof late on the brakes, gets it done. Can he cover the inside line? He needs to get across to the right. He can't do it quick enough. Jarvis is up alongside. Vanthoor, will he try and follow through into turn 2? On board we go. He's not closing in enough on that BMW just yet. Shows his nose to the inside to try and put off Mayer Melnhof, who goes in very, very early into the corner. Surely this is going to be an opportunity, although, and he's all out of shape. He's really struggling with that car, and now Vanthor is going to get alongside, side by side, through the left-hand kink. Past our commentary box they come. He's on the grass, Laurens Vanthor, not given enough room. Slides all over the circuit and heading down into turn one. He says, what was that, Nicky?
No, that was unnecessary. There was no need to push the Audi as wide to put Vanthor onto the grass. You can see the grass now in the radiator. He almost hit one of the marker boards by the side of the circuit.
Here's a look at the replay, John.
Yes, I mean, the BMW does not give space. Audi almost going sideways as it comes back onto the racetrack. That was a move I think was at best careless and at worst premeditated.
He didn't leave Vanthor any room at all. I think that's the so I would suggest he probably didn't know he was there, knowing Nicky Mayer Melnhof.
Well,
but
you know, come on, he knows precisely what he's doing. Turn 14 is a mild curve. You don't need to use the full width of the corner, and you can see Vanthor, he is rightly aggrieved by that manoeuvre.
This fantastic battling here at the Slovakia ring is pleasing the crowds, I've no doubt, and it's also pleasing the president of the Slovak Republic, Mr. Ivan Gasparovich, is here watching on and hopefully enjoying what he's seeing. The crowd on their feet as the Ford GT and Daryl O'Young go side by side. That's actually a pass for position. Matteo Cressoni going past Daryl O'Young. We go now on board with Laurens Vanthor, trying to make the move as he comes down into turn one. Windscreen wipers going. I don't think there's any rain out there, but Vanthor takes a nice wide line into the first corner. He tries to get the cut back, and now he has. They're side by side. He's going to try and push him onto the grass, perhaps, on the way into turn two. Bit of get your own back style. So let's hear from Fred Makovicky. They had trouble in their pit stop, and it cost them the lead of the race. He's down with Haley Coxon.
Fred, what was the reason for your delay in the pits?
We lose a little time because it was not possible for Steph to restart because the Porsche arrived at the same moment, and we lose maybe 5 or 6 seconds, and it's difficult for us because we will start second. I also we arrive to continue like this. Steph do a really good job, and if we arrive to take the second place, it's perfect for us for the championship.
Thank you.
Down into the final corner comes Michael Bartels. Hjalmar Berman started his car third on the grid. He chased down the number one Hexus McLaren. There you can see Berman climbing the fencing. A fantastic pit stop from the V1 racing team. Real slick stuff. Trouble for the McLaren, and that means that Hjalmar Berman and Michael Bartels win the championship race in the Slovakia ring. It moves them to the top of the championship. Across the line comes Steph Dusseldorp. Him and Fred Makovicky satisfied with second. Another podium for the 38 Alinco Munich Motorsports car. That moves them into third place in the championship. Fourth place across the line, Tony Volander and Philippe Salaquada in the car that was leading this race at the beginning, had pole position, led for a reasonable amount of time, and these Slovakian fans have been treated to a pretty good race, actually. I mean, I know yesterday's race was good because of rain, because of all that drama that unfolded, but today, completely dry race, still brilliant entertainment. Michael Bartels and Hjalmar Berman will be thinking this is what being a racing driver is all about. Victory in the championship race, the top of the championship they now move to. And the V1 racing team will also move up a couple of spots in the championship position after a strong 7th position for Nicky Mayer Melnhof. Congratulations from BMW, who support the V1 racing team outfit in this GT1 World Championship Battle of the Brands. Let's hear from our race winners.
Congratulations, Hjalmar. You pushed hard all weekend, and now finally a great result.
Yeah, thank you. It's amazing. I mean, it was a good race yesterday. I mean, on the podium's always good. We had a little problem in the end, but and then to come back like this again on the next day, you know, to win, it's amazing. Really good.
Michael, congratulations. Now the both of you leading the championship.
Well, I mean, that's something which is very nice, of course. We go in for summer break, so we can relax a little bit on the beach. Not him. He has to go to the 24-hour Le Mans. But I do the homework for him at home, and we hope we come back in top condition in Portimao. I think the pit stop was super, and I think this victory is a big part of the crew. They had a tough weekend, no sleep, but I think this makes a difference, and when you look back to the other years, you know why.
Thank you.
Let's hear from Fred Makavikian.
Last time in the pits, do you think you would be able to take the win if that hadn't happened?
Yeah, it shows that we lose maybe 4 or 5 seconds. That it's not the fault of the team. It's really it's like this. It's the problem of the Porsche, and it's a great result because after all the problem of yesterday of the engine and the problem since this race, and really great race.
Thank you.
And that it can be said as well that the pit stop was slower than Vita for one, but the good news was that it didn't really have too much trouble that was their own making. So that's going to be a bonus for the Hexis McLaren team. There's the bungee jump about to take place. Let's hear from third place, Mark Paseng and Marcus Winkelhock.
Mark, congratulations. How tough is it for you to bring it home on the podium?
Yeah, it's great, but it's the absolute maximum what we can achieve with the speed from the car. I think that was pretty obviously. It was a long stint, and I would say nearly perfect. Every lap was really matching, but in the end, I had no chance to really catch up with the McLaren or the BMW. But I'm happy. Good points for the team. A bit unhappy for the 37. They had some technical problems, but in the end, good result.
Congratulations, Marcus. Now more points to hold on. Good position within the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. Third position is more as I expected. Absolutely happy about the podium. I had a good start when they were around the outside. Mark had a super stint, so yeah, I'm just happy about the result.
Thank you.
Here's a look at the results. Hjalmar Berman and Michael Bartels winning the race and moving into the lead of the championship. Makavikian and Dusseldorp second place, had the pace to win it. Didn't quite work out for them in the pit stops. Winkelhock and Baseng showed strong pace in their Mercedes. Then we had the Ferrari of Philippe Salaquada and Tony Verlander. Verlander's stint was somewhat quiet because he didn't really end up with anyone to battle with. Oliver Jarvis very, very quick in that WRT Audi in 5th position. Lawrence Vanthor and Stefan Ortelli in 6th position. Unfortunately, we lost the number 2 Hexis Racing McLaren of Alvaro Parent, and Thomas Enger had to retire on the very second or third lap, I think it was, in the end, after contact. So the Vita for One racing team win here at the Slovakia ring. Michael Bartels and Hjalmar Berman on the top step of the podium. Third place to the Alinkel.com squad of Mark Paseng and Marcus Winkelhock. Pretty pleased with that.
Yeah, it's a good day's work for the team. They knew they didn't have the car for the moment at this particular racetrack, but they capitalised on what they had, and they got a podium position. Second place for the McLaren of Makiviki and Dusseldorp, but the dominance of the BMW, the pace of Hjalmar Berman, but principally the superb pit work by the whole Vita for One BMW Z4M team is, I believe, the reason why those two drivers, Michael Bartels, the team owner, and Hjalmar Berman, are standing in the winner's podium, and they deserve it.
Many thanks to Haley Coxon for helping us out in the pit lane. John Watson alongside me, Jack Nichols, in the commentary box. Join us in 3 weeks' time for all the action from Portimao. But until then, from everyone here at FIA GT1, it's a goodbye.